Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 10 Part 1 based on novel. So let's start. This was a completely dark red plains and there were occasional hills standing tall. Some sparse trees were spread out in a random fashion. Occasionally, there were prolonged beast roars spreading across the distant place, causing this area to feel extremely desolated. At the same time, a skinny figure on a small hill, in a deserted spot on this plain, looked up at the sky, which appeared a little red because of the color of the ground. His eyes looked towards the horizon of this plains, but he was unable to spot anything. Is this the demon region? Lin Dong looked at this wasteland and muttered. The person standing in front was naturally Lin Dong, who was transported to this place through the teleportation array. In fact, he had traveled within the spatial tunnel for almost 5 days before he traveled through space and landed in this foreign place. Lin Dong, who was completely unfamiliar with this region, clearly did not know if this was his intended destination. After experiencing failure the previous time he was teleported from the Eastern Xian region, he had some lingering fear about this type of long-distance teleportation. Lin Dong scanned his surroundings. After which, he turned and helplessly looked at the unconscious young lady on the ground. It seems like most ordinary individuals could not take this spatial teleportation. Lin Dong squatted beside Xin Qing. He extended his fingers and gently pinched the young lady's tall nose. After which, the young lady's alluring brow bunched up before her tightly shut large eyes suddenly opened up. Soon after, her small beautiful face suddenly became fiery red. Her small hand supported herself on the ground as she anxiously moved back. She timidly said, "Lin Dong." "Sir." When Lin Dong saw how startled Xin Qing was, he gave her an embarrassed smile. He said, I saw that you have been out for a while. I thought that something may have happened to you." I'm sorry." Xin Qing's small face turned red as she softly apologized. "It's fine." Lin Dong waved his hand. The respect and fear that the young lady showed him caused him to feel a little ill at ease. His voice became a lot gentler as he asked, "It seems like we have reached the demon region. Can you tell where we are?" Xin Qing hurriedly stood up after hearing his words. Following which, her large eyes carefully swept across this bright red plains. She finally sighed in relief after a long while. Then, a smile surfaced on her small face. "Sir Lin Dong, we should be in the Beast War region. The teleportation worked. This is exactly where we wanted to go." When he heard his words, Lin Dong sighed in relief. Following which, he asked doubtfully, "Beast War region?" Xin Qing nodded. After which, she explained, "The demon region is extremely vast and there are many regions of different sizes. It can be roughly segmented into north, south, east and west regions. This Beast War region we are currently at should be the junction between the western and northern region. That is also why this place is one of the most chaotic areas in the demon region." Lin Dong lifted his brow upon hearing this. Why did her words seem to imply that they had came to a place that would cause him a great headache again? There is a clear distinction between the various large factions in the other parts of the demon region. Although there are conflicts between the various large factions, it is still fairly peaceful. Only this Beast War region is constantly full of conflicts. Moreover, it is not distributed according to tribal lines. Instead, it is ruled by various extremely powerful tyrants. Currently, the top commanders in the Beast War region should be the 8 great demon commanders. Xin Qing thought for a moment before replying. 8 great demon commanders? Lin Dong was at a loss. He knew nothing about the demon region. Fortunately, Mo Luo prepared a guide for him. The 8 great demon commanders represent the 8 strongest factions in the Beast War region. Moreover, all of them are at the perfect profound death stage and there are many powerful experts under them. Hence, all of them are quite well known even in the entire demon region. Other than the 8 great demon commanders, there are still many factions of various sizes in the Beast War region. In a bid to secure territory and resources, it was commonplace for a fight to occur. Furthermore, it is also common for territory to change hands. One faction might be in charge today, but that place could be easily snatched by another faction tomorrow. Moreover, the original owners would also be exterminated by the other faction. Comparatively speaking, the factions of the 8 great demon generals are a lot more stable. Lin Dong nodded. This was indeed the demon region. The law of the jungle was in full display in this place. So, how do we search for someone here? Lin Dong rubbed his head. Based on what Qing Shi said, Little Flame should have been teleported to this region. However, this region was also extremely vast and it was no simple feat to find someone here. Xin Qing curled her small mouth and pondered for a moment. After which, her big eyes looked at Lin Dong. With the intention of seeking Lin Dong's opinion, she asked, "Why don't we head to my tribe first? My tribe should know more than I do." Lin Dong did not object to her suggestion as he nodded. Regardless of what the situation was, the information that a tribe could obtain was certainly better than what he could do alone. Xin Qing's small face revealed some joy after she saw Lin Dong nodding his head. She established her position before finally pointed her small hand to the north and said, "My nine-tailed tribe should be in this direction. If we continue traveling in this direction, we should be able to reach in 5 days. Let's get moving." Lin Dong did not dawdle. He waved his hand and said, "I will lead Sir Lin Dong." Most likely because she was able to return to her tribe, there was an additional tinge of excitement on that young lady's face. After which, her delicate body shot forward and rushed straight towards the north. Lin Dong followed closely behind her. "Xin Qing, your nine-tailed tribe should be quite powerful, right?" Lin Dong was surveying his surroundings as they traveled. After which, he withdrew his sight and looked at Xin Qing in front, who was seriously leading the way, and laughingly asked. Xin Qing, who was leading the way, was startled upon hearing this. Her large eyes seemed to have dimmed slightly. After which, she spoke in a somewhat embarrassed manner, "That's not true. The nine-tailed tribe is currently quite weak. Our tribe leader, who is also my mother, is only at the initial profound death stage. This only allows our nine-tailed tribe to barely survive in the Beast War region. We once sought refuge with a large faction in order to ensure our safety. However, the other party requested that our nine-tailed tribe send a tribute of 10 young female tribe members to them every year. We refused and finally left them and traveled far away to this place. However, we also paid a hefty price for this. Most of the men in my tribe, including my father, were killed during the retaliation." Lin Dong's body paused. He looked at the young lady with reddened eyes, gently biting her lips, before he suddenly said, "I'm sorry." Xin Qing shook her head and said, "It is how things work in the demon region. I have traveled a great distance to the Flame Divine Hall in order to become powerful. After which, I will return to protect my tribe members. You will succeed." Lin Dong was a little moved. This young lady might appear timid, but she had her own deep pool of inner strength. Promptly, Lin Dong ended up sighing secretly in his heart. Back then, he was also determined to become stronger in order to protect his family. Xin Qing spoke in an indistinct voice. "Xin Qing is not as formidable as Sir Lin Dong. You have already reached the initial profound death stage at such a young age. Moreover, you even defeated those 2 enemies, whom even elder sister Xin Lian and Sir Juzi were unable to defeat, all by yourself." Lin Dong rubbed his head and felt that the situation was a little comical. "Do you all think that I am abnormal?" Xin Qing laughed. She was clearly amused by Lin Dong. The redness in her eyes became a little paler. After which, her large eyes secretly glanced at Lin Dong. Only then did she discover that the latter was not as stern and unapproachable like the other powerful experts that she had imagined. "Does Sir Lin Dong have another friend from the celestial demon Martin tribe?" Lin Dong nodded. He laughed. "He is my brother. Sir Lin Dong is truly amazing. You are actually able to become brothers with someone from the celestial demon Martin tribe. They are extremely ferocious and even the dragon tribe members are wary of them in the demon region," Xin Qing exclaimed. "They are so strong." Lin Dong was also a little surprised. He knew that the celestial demon Martin tribe had a powerful standing in the demonic beast world, but he never expected them to be this powerful. The celestial demon Martin tribe is one of the 4 great overlord tribes remaining in the current demon region. Qingqing nodded. 4 overlord tribes. Lindong was a little helpless. It seemed that he was really completely unfamiliar with the demon region. The current demonic beast world has 4 overlord tribes and 8 king tribes. The 4 overlord tribes are the Dragon tribe, 9 Phoenix tribe, Monster Bird tribe and the celestial demon Martin tribe. They are the strongest tribes in the demonic beast world. The 9 Phoenix tribe and the Monster Bird tribe, Lindong muttered those 2 names. It was the first time he heard of them. Our Nine-Tail tribe used to be extremely powerful a long time ago. At that time, our Nine-Tail tribe even fought a war with the Monster Bird tribe and we did not even fall into much of a disadvantage. Qingqing spoke in a somewhat proud manner. Lindong was a little startled this time around. He never expected that the extremely weak Nine-Tail tribe now actually had such a glorious past. Due to a great calamity in the ancient times, my Nine-Tail tribe suffered heavy losses and all our top experts were killed. After which, there were few tribe members who could reach the highest Nine-Tail stage in the subsequent years. This resulted in the decline of our tribe until it reached its current state. Qingqing said. So it's like this, Lindong came to a sudden comprehension. It seems like the more tails these Nine-Tail tribe members had, the stronger they became. In that case, how many tails do you have? Lindong involuntarily glanced at the young ladies behind and laughingly asked. Qingqing only has 3. Qingqing hesitated for a moment. After which, a red light flashed over her lovely figure before 3 fluffy tails appeared behind her. Lindong stared curiously at the 3 fluffy cute tails behind her. He involuntarily approached her and grabbed a tail with his hand. The feeling was unusually comfortable. Sir Lindong. However, the young lady's small face quickly turned as red as a burning cloud when his hand touched her tail. Even her voice began to tremble. Lindong involuntarily became a little lost after he saw Qingqing's reaction. The tail should not be randomly touched. Qingqing's small face appeared as though she was about to bleed as she spoke in a trembling voice. Lindong seemed to have comprehended something after he saw her reaction. Even with his thick skin, he involuntarily felt his face turning hot. He quickly released his hand and laughed towards the sky. Ah, what a beautiful moon. Let's hurry on. He swiftly flew forward after his voice sounded. All his face had been lost today. Why did he act so recklessly? When Qingqing saw Lindong fleeing, she was startled. Immediately, the young lady involuntarily covered her mouth and laughed. Subsequently, she hurriedly lowered her head and followed him with a red face. A setting sun hung on the bright red plains, while a crimson-red light covered the land. Occasionally, there were some huge white bones flashing on the plains. Right now, the desolate sensation grew increasingly dense. A rushing wind sound suddenly appeared in the sky. Immediately, 2 glowing figures swiftly flew across the sky. The 2 of them were Lindong and Qingqing, who were hurrying to the place where the Nine-Tail tribe was located. Sir Lindong, the Beast War region is extremely chaotic. Although there are many humans here in the demon region, this place is still the world of the demonic beast. It is inevitable to attract some attention if you are spotted. Hence, we must be careful and avoid drawing attention to ourselves while traveling. Qingqing followed beside Lindong. Her large eyes were nervous as she surveyed her surroundings and reminded him. It seemed like they were making quite a commotion by traveling in this manner. Lindong smiled and nodded. However, he did not show any signs of slowing down. Qingqing's small mouth appeared deflated upon seeing this. However, she did not dare to say anything. All she could do was follow him and pray in her heart that no problems would occur. It seemed like her prayer was of some use, as they did not meet with any troubles during the half a day of traveling. Although they met some large groups of men traveling from a distance away, which stirred up waves of yellow dust, it seems like those groups did not discover the Lindong duo. Hence, they swiftly passed by from a great distance away, while the flames of war spread behind them. Lindong also personally witnessed the chaos in the Beast War region during his journey. Within a short half a day's time, he saw at least 4 groups from different factions clashing together. Battle cries shook the sky, and it appeared quite spectacular when seen from a great distance away. Although these groups were large in numbers, after having witnessed the extremely orderly army of the Flame Divine Hall, they looked like nothing but a mob in Lin Dong's eyes. Moreover, their commanders were far inferior to Tang Xinlian in terms of leadership ability, and the outcome of their fights basically depended on their individual troops' strength. Lin Dong merely glanced at such fights from afar before losing interest. After which, he left with Xinqing, who wore an anxious look on her small face. Time quickly passed as they traveled. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. The Lin Dong duo also grew closer to the location of the Nine-tailed tribe. Another setting sun appeared in the sky. However, their surroundings were still the seemingly endless bright red plains. Lin Dong sat beside a bonfire while a young lady was busy beside him. Kneeling in front of the bonfire, her small hands were rotating a wooden rod in an agile fashion. There was the leg of a fat wild boar on the rod. Golden yellow oil dripped from it, and its tempting fragrance involuntarily drew Lin Dong's attention. "Sir Lin Dong." Xinqing cut the meat with a small knife. After which, she used a clean wooden board to serve it to Lin Dong. Her extremely considerate and virtuous manner caused Lin Dong to sigh. It was truly rare for him to enjoy such treatment. The girls he had known in the past would simply deliver the meat with a sword instead of doing it in such a virtuous fashion. Ying Huan was a little princess who was adored by everyone in the sect. While it was possible for her to occasionally play the zither when she was in a good mood, it was likely that the lass was unable to perform something like serving someone. Qingtan was obedient, but it was rare for her to spend time with him because he was frequently out training. Tang Xinlian was the commander of the 4 armies in the Flame Divine Hall. How could Lin Dong possibly dare to ask her to do something like this? In fact, he would likely be pierced immediately and turned into a hedgehog. As for Mu Lingshan, it was obvious that Lin Dong was the one serving this little grandaunt when they were together. Lin Dong stared at the grilled meat in his head before he quietly shook his head when he thought of this. It was really rare. "I have told you many times before, just call me Lin Dong." "Don't call me sir." Lin Dong devoured the food as he spoke in a somewhat indistinct voice. Xinqing merely smiled when he heard this. However, a respectful expression did not diminish. This caused Lin Dong to feel a little helpless. All he could do was to put the matter aside. "Our Nine-tailed tribe is located at the northwest region of the Beast War region. That place is also the junction between the Deep Lightning Mountain and the 100 Beast Ridge." Lin Dong devoured the meat while Xinqing was telling him information about the Nine-tailed tribe. Deep Lightning Mountain? 100 Beast Ridge. The Deep Lightning Mountain and the 100 Beast Ridge are all extremely powerful factions in the Beast War region. Both their leaders are one of the 8 great demon generals. Xinqing explained, "Our Nine-tailed tribe is located at a gap between the both of them. Those 2 large factions have many conflicts with each other, and they do not have the time to care about us. We are safe as long as we hand over some tributes each year. The 2 great demon commanders of the Deep Lightning Mountain and the 100 Beast Ridge are all at the perfect profound death stage. They are extremely powerful. One of them is from the Lion tribe while the other is from the Tiger tribe. I am not sure about their exact race." Tiger tribe. The grilled meat that was about to enter Lin Dong's mouth suddenly paused. He stared at Xinqing in surprise. After a brief moment of hesitation, he asked, "Is it the Heavenly Devil Tiger?" "I am not too sure. However, Sir Lin Dong's friend should have arrived at the Beast War region about a year ago. On the other hand, the demon commander of the Deep Lightning Mountain is an expert who has made a name for himself in the Beast War region a long time ago. Hence, I don't think that they are the same person." Xinqing pondered for a moment before she replied. Lin Dong nodded upon hearing this. "It has only been over a year. Even though Little Flame has a mutated physique, it should be impossible for him to reach the perfect profound death stage. It seems like I have to search for him slowly." With this thought in mind, Lin Dong calmed down. He was just about to speak when his expression changed. He lifted his head and saw dust soaring towards the sky in the distance. It was vaguely possible to hear various laughter and curses being transmitted from the distant. A bandit-like demeanor could be felt. Xinqing looked at the yellow dust which had appeared. A slight change appeared on her small face. She waved her small hand and some dust rose to cover the bonfire. After which, she anxiously looked at Lin Dong. "Sir Lin Dong, should we hide?" Lin Dong shrugged his shoulders nonchalantly. After which, he allowed Xinqing to take the lead and avoid the direction where the group was headed towards. Rumble. The yellow dust grew increasingly close. Lin Dong seemingly saw a flag with a curling blood-colored python. The flag swayed, causing the blood python to appear as though it was about to leap forward. It looked shocking and fearsome. "They are from the blood python city." Xinqing looked at the blood python flag and spoke in a startled voice. Lin Dong nodded. He remembered that Xinqing had mentioned this faction before. It was quite a famous faction in the Beast War region. Although it was not as powerful as the 8 Great Demon Commanders factions, it was quite a formidable faction. These fellows kidnap people from all over the place and everyone hates them. "Sir Lin Dong, it is best for us not to come into conflict with them," Xinqing softly said. As Xinqing spoke, the group approached using the main road on the plains. Lin Dong briefly glanced at them. There was around 100 people in this group and many of them had powerful auras. In fact, the 2 people in front reached the initial profound death stage. It seems like the Blood Python city was quite powerful indeed. This group passed by like a tornado. However, it was obvious that they saw the Lin Dong duo when they approached. A fierce glint flashed across some of their eyes. However, they did not attack immediately. Lin Dong's expression was calm as he allowed those people to stare at him. On the other hand, Xinqing tugged his clothes and hid behind him. Although she was young, she was extremely beautiful. Hence, she also understood what would happen should these people discovered her. "Ha, where did this brat come from? Is he eloping with a little girl?" When that group galloped past them, as a strange laughter suddenly sounded. One of them clenched his hand before a wind whistled forward, grabbing the grilled meat on the stand. After which, he laughed wildly as he bit the meat and rode away. These people had clearly gained some loot already. Hence, they could not be bothered to attack the Lin Dong duo. Xinqing looked at the group from the Blood Python city gradually riding off. She sighed in relief, appearing to have been relieved of a great burden. After which, she heard a rough laughter vaguely being transmitted over. "We have managed to gain quite a bountiful reward this time around. If those few stockade dares to be disrespectful towards my Blood Python city in the future, we will exterminate them. However, I never expected to meet 2 members of the Nine-Tailed tribe this time around. Hee, those 2 girls are really juicy. It is rumored that the ladies of the Nine-Tailed tribe are all natural-born beauties. If not for the fact that we have to present them to the city governor, I would really like to have a taste." "You can forget about it. Such top-quality goods are not something that we can touch. We must let the city governor enjoy them first." "Of course. However, once the city governor has enjoyed them, they can be given to us to have fun with." The group whizzed past. However, their laughter continued to hum and reverberate in the air. Lin Dong narrowed his eyes. After which, he turned his head and saw Xinqing's small face suddenly turn pale. At this moment, Xinqing was startled as she looked at the group, which was gradually disappeared into the horizon. After which, her eyes turned red. Her small hand, which was gripping tightly onto Lin Dong's clothes, was trembling as she let go. "Are you all right?" Lin Dong softly inquired. Xinqing shook her head slightly. Her pretty small face gave Lin Dong a forced smile. After which, she lowered her body and packed the things on the ground. When she stood up again, she bit her lips and said, "Sir Lin Dong, can you head to my tribe first? Xinqing has some sudden matters that she must attend to." Lin Dong looked at the young lady and laughed. "Are you going to deliver yourself to their doorstep? Their fates will be extremely miserable." Xinqing's eyes turned red. She looked at Lin Dong in a pleading manner. "Sir Lin Dong, please allow me to go." Lin Dong looked at the small pretty face, which was covered in tears. He sighed helplessly, extended his hand and violently rubbed her small face. "Let's go, my little guide. Without you leading the way, won't it take forever for me to reach your tribe?" Xinqing opened her eyes, which had become blurred because of her tears. She looked at the young man's smiling face and bit her lips. There were even more tears in her eyes. "You are really a cry-baby. Let's go." Lin Dong smiled as he rubbed away the tears on Xinqing's face. After which, he turned around. His eyes looked towards the direction of the group, which had left earlier. "They are truly a hateful bunch of people. They actually snatched my grilled meat." Xinqing was stunned as she looked at a displeased Lin Dong. The corner of her lips involuntarily curled. Her young and beautiful small face appeared a little bewitching at this moment. Nightfall arrived. A small ruined city appeared on this desolate plain. There were a large number of bonfires gathered together in the city, and it looked like a resting point. From a distance away, it was even possible to see some groups continuously rushing over from other places. This city became noisy because of this, and it no longer had the deserted atmosphere of the desolate plains. This small city was called Little Wasteland City. It was a resting point in this desolate plains. Many groups, which usually ventured through this desolate plains in search of prey, would chose to rest and reorganize in this place. Moreover, this also allowed them to hide from the occasional tornado and cold fog that appeared in the desolate plains. Some business transactions would also occur when these groups gathered here. One example was to exchange items that caught each other's fancy. Of course, most of the time, fights would inevitably occur in a place like this. After all, the demon region was chaotic to begin with, and the beast war region was even more chaotic. In fact, one might meet with a smile a moment before, only to fight in the next instant, causing blood to flow like river. At this moment, the flag of the blood python was fluttering at a corner of the city. Various rough and fearsome curses sounded from the surrounding campsite and spread into the distance. There was a plot of land in front of the camp. At this moment, all sorts of people were gathered together. The many fluttering flags indicated that they belonged to different factions in the Beast War region. At this moment, various loud and arrogant voices sounded in this place. Most of them were boasting about the rewards gained by their group during the trip. They merely defeated a roaming bandit group. "My blood python city has exterminated 3 stockade. The rewards we gained far exceeds all of you." A bare-armed man from the blood python city heard the conversations of the others' groups and laughed arrogantly. There were many scars on his face, and it made him look ferocious and ruthless. "Hu Cheng, your blood python city only dares to bully those weak stockades. What kind of loot can you possibly obtain?" An untimely voice was transmitted by the side after the bare-armed man's loud laughter sounded. Everyone looked over and saw a skinny man, laughing in a strange fashion. Meanwhile, there were quite a lot of people gathered around him. The bare-armed man revealed a fearsome glint in his eyes as he stared at the skinny man. However, he did not attack in anger. Clearly, the latter was no simple pushover. Moreover, the faction supporting him was also not much weaker than their blood python city. A fearsome glint flashed across the bare-armed man's eyes. He turned his head to look at a rock. Seated on the rock was an exceptionally muscular and large man devouring some grilled meat. After which, that large muscular man lifted his somewhat scarlet eyes and stared at the skinny young man. He parted his mouth into a dense smile. "2 nine-tailed tribe young ladies. Are they valuable or not?" An uproar spread from the surroundings after his words sounded. The eyes of many onlookers became a lot brighter. The nine-tailed tribe was extremely well known in the demonic beast world. After all, the ladies in that tribe were natural-born beauties, and it was rare to find one. The corners of this large muscular man's mouth parted in a pleased manner after seeing the crowd's reaction. After which, the sound of moving wheels appeared. A caged cart was being pushed out. 2 delicate small figures could be seen within the prison. They were trembling while hugging onto each other. Their tear-filled faces were filled with horror when they saw the various wild beasts outside with lewd expression in their eyes. Although they were unable to clearly discern the appearance of the two women, just by looking at the enchanting curves that they revealed when hugging each other, it caused the breathing of many onlookers to become a little heavier. Brother Leisian, can you sell one of these beauties to me? The skinny man from earlier licked his lips. He extended a finger and shook it, 1,000,000 yuan pills. What do you say? Many onlookers were shocked. This fellow was indeed generous. He actually offered a 1,000,000 yuan pills directly. Wang Hu, they are going to be presented to my city governor. Do you dare to enjoy them? The large muscular man called Leisian ridiculed. The expression of the skinny man changed upon hearing this. Immediately, he laughed dryly. The city governor of the Blood Python city was someone whom he had heard of. Leisian smiled arrogantly after he saw that fellow cowering in fear. He waved his hand and ordered his men to drag the prison cart back. I say, why don't you sell those two women to me? A laughter was suddenly emitted just as Leisian waved his hand. Everyone lifted their heads in shock. Their eyes shifted towards the top of a tent, where two figures had suddenly appeared. With the help of the bonfire, he could see that the person who had just spoken was a tall young man. Leisian frowned when he saw this young man, who had suddenly appeared. He laughed coldly, all right. 10,000,000 yuan pills. Can you afford it? The mouths of everyone twitched. This fellow was truly full of nonsense. Although a young lady from the Nine-Tailed tribe was valuable, it was far from able to fetch such a price. Everyone looked at the top of the tent. Then, they saw the smiling young man bending down before he said with a smile, previously, at the side of the road, you snatched my grilled meat. Why don't we use that to pay for the 10,000,000 yuan pills? The expressions of everyone in the crowd became strange. Was the ingredient of your grilled meat from the Dragon tribe or the Celestial Demon Martin tribe? However, some of the sharper individuals narrowed their eyes. They could detect something amiss in the atmosphere. Could it be that this unknown young man in front of them did not know that these people belonged to the Blood Python city? These people were no kind-hearted individuals. Leisian and Hu Cheng's expressions gradually became uglier in front of the many strange-looking pair of eyes. Behind them, those people from the Blood Python city also revealed a ferocious glint in their eyes. A chilly glow flashed across the blades in their hands. It seems like we met someone who is here to create trouble. Leisian smiled ferociously. He had passed by in a hurried manner and did not notice the Lindong duo by the side of the road. It was unexpected that the latter would come and court trouble on his own. However, today, I will teach you that you are still a little too tender to try and act mightily in front of my Blood Python city. Kill him, cut him up and feed him to the dogs. A thunderous cry sounded. Those experts from the Blood Python city immediately charged forward with a ferocious smile when the cry sounded. Majestic Yuan power erupted. Their auras were quite powerful. The surrounding onlookers stepped back when they saw this sight. After which, they simply stared at this scene as if they were watching a show. They were really curious about this young man's abilities. After all, he actually dared to act so arrogantly in front of these two initial profound death stage experts from the Blood Python city. When Lin Dong saw the experts from Blood Python city charging over with murderous intent, he sighed and shook his head. Next, he spoke to Xinqing, step back. Understood. Xinqing nodded obediently. Although there were two initial profound death stage experts from the Blood Python city, she had witnessed the ferocity of Lin Dong when he fought both Hua Chen and Xu Xiu back at the Fiery Flame City. Hence, she clearly knew that the lineup in front of her posed little threat to Lin Dong. An indifferent iciness gradually rose in Lin Dong's eyes as Xinqing stepped back a little. He extended his hand and slammed it forward. A majestic Yuan power swept out from it. It directly turned into a huge Yuan power hand that struck ruthlessly at the group. Bang bang bang. Low and deep voices rose in a wave-like fashion. Those figures filled with murderous intent flew backwards in a miserable fashion and sent the remaining forces from the Blood Python city tumbling. Profound death stage expert. Some exclamations swiftly spread. All those people, who were planning on watching a fun show, focused their eyes. Clearly, they did not expect that this young man was actually in possession of such great strength. The Malaysian duo also had a change in expressions. They stared at Lindong in a sinister manner and said, "Do you wish to become enemies with my blood python city?" Lindong smiled. His body moved and he landed from the top of the tent. Subsequently, his eyes glanced at the two beautiful young ladies in the prison cart before he softly stated, "Hand them over." The Malaysian duo revealed a dark and cold expression. They exchanged glances before sweeping their eyes towards the deepest part of the campgrounds. A killing intent suddenly surged onto their faces. "Kill him." Majestic Yuan power swept out from their bodies simultaneously. The both of them possessed the strength of the initial profound death stage, and they had a fairly powerful name in the Blood Python city. Although Lindong's strength had surprised them, that was all it did. They were still confident that they could kill him with their combined strength. Mighty Yuan power wrapped around the both of them. Their bodies were just like ghosts as they crisscrossed and charged towards Lindong. Meanwhile, their bodies had swelled a little and metal thorn-like bristle fur rose from under their skin. Lindong's expression was calm when he saw the two of them rushing over. He gently lifted his foot before he let it fall. Bang! The air seemed to have exploded at this moment. After which, the many experts present saw a light figure shooting straight over. Subsequently, a loud bang sounded and the prison cart was blasted apart. Sawdust spread. Every pair of eyes present darted over. Following which, their pupils shrink when they saw the young man standing straight beside the prison cart. Right now, both his hands were gripping on the throat of two figures. At this moment, the both of them were struggling wildly. However, regardless of how they struggled, the hand on their throat refused to budge, just like the claws of an eagle. The sound of saliva being swallowed resounded across this place. Those experts from various factions revealed a shock in their eyes. In that previous fight, the Malaysian duo were defeated even before they saw what had happened. They were two initial profound death stage experts, and they were fearsome fighters that would be highly valued by any faction in the Beast War region. Yet, they were completely powerless in the hands of that young man. The eyes of some people revealed a solemn expression. It seems like the Blood Python city has ran into a tough opponent this time around. The two Nine-Tail tribe young ladies were startled when they saw this scene. Their bodies trembled as they looked at the calm young man. A heartbreaking, pleading expression appeared in their eyes. Bang! Lindong tossed the two of them aside indifferently, just like they were garbage, causing a group of people to tumble. After which, he patted his hand while his eyes looked towards the deepest part of the Blood Python camp as he asked in a faint voice, "I will be taking them away. Are you going to stop me?" This video will end here.